There was a time when my anxiety, stress, and trauma had me feeling completely paralyzed. Every little thing felt like way too much, and I didn't know how to get out of that downward spiral. If you've ever felt overwhelmed by anxiety, stress, and trauma, you're not alone. In this video, I'm sharing 7 powerful tools that continue to help me find my way back to peace in my mind, my heart, and my body, and I know they can do the same for you. Hey, I'm Matt, and I provide gospel guidance to encourage and equip pastors and Christian men to thrive in their spiritual, emotional, and relational health. You can get started by downloading my free guide to emotionally healthy conversations. I'll leave the link below. The brain and the body are not separate entities. They're a team, intimately connected and constantly communicating with one another for our well-being. And when the brain and the body function well and in harmony with one another, we experience well-being. And from a biblical perspective, this state of well-being is known as shalom, a Hebrew word meaning peace, completeness, and flourishing. However, when our well-being is threatened, we're designed to respond. Anxiety is your body's way of alerting you to perceived threats, even when that threat isn't immediate. Stress is your body's response to pressure or demands, especially when you perceive you can't handle those pressures or keep up with those demands. And trauma responses occur when our brain and body become overwhelmed by way too many large and difficult emotions all at once, and that is coupled with aloneness. Anxiety, stress, and trauma responses are not inherently bad. In fact, they're good and necessary gifts that enable us to be aware of and respond to potential dangers to protect our safety and our well-being, our shalom. The downside is that when we remain in these heightened responses for too long, our body and our brain adapt. And when this happens, what's meant to be short-term responses turn into long-term habitual states of being. In other words, we can get stuck and remain in an ongoing state of anxiety and stress and trauma. And that's not good for our well-being because it'll lead us to physical and emotional and relational burnout and make it even more difficult to return to shalom. But there's some good news. The brain and the body are adaptable. And with practice, you can retrain yourself to respond effectively to anxiety, stress, and trauma so that you can return to the safety and peace of shalom. If you want to learn how to do that, here are 7 skills to return to shalom. These are 7 ways I've learned to respond when my body is activated by anxiety, stress, or trauma. And these have been enormously helpful to me. And so I'm really hoping that they'll be helpful to you as well. The first skill to help you return to shalom is to work with a trauma-informed therapist. Meeting with a trained and experienced counselor who specializes in anxiety and depression and trauma is one of the best ways to care for yourself, to establish safety, and to begin your healing journey. I found narrative-focused trauma care to be the most helpful pathway for my healing journey. And if you're looking for a few good resources, books, online workshops, trained therapists, even extensive training, I recommend the Allender Center. I'll leave a link below. The second skill to help you return to shalom is intentional breathing. Your vagus nerve sends information from your brain to your lungs and from your lungs to your brain. This makes intentional breathing a very powerful skill to learn and to practice regularly, because doing so helps your brain and body coordinate in a return to shalom. Breathing deeply through your nose, drawing that air all the way into your belly and exhaling slowly until there's no more breath left to push out, and then gently pausing a few seconds before inhaling again. Intentional breathing is really good because it helps lower your heart rate, it decreases your cortisol level, and it engages your parasympathetic nervous system. So I want to encourage you, give that a shot and go online and try researching box breathing or partner breathing techniques. I think you'll really find them helpful. The third skill to help you return to shalom is spatial orienteering. When your body is in survival mode, reorienting yourself to your environment provides brain and body cues that let you know that you're safe in the present. I like to do what I call the 5 senses scan. Here's how it works. Find something you can see and stare at it for 5 seconds. Find something you can hear and listen to it for 5 seconds. Find something pleasant to the touch and feel it for 5 seconds. Find something you can smell that smells nice and take in that aroma for 5 seconds. And finally, find something you can taste, something that's savory or sweet, and swish it around your mouth for 5 seconds. Spatial orienteering helps us in a lot of ways. It helps us by activating different parts of our brain. It grounds us in our attention in the present, and all of that reduces our fight or flight response. That spatial orienteering has been super helpful to me, and I hope you'll give that a try. The fourth skill to help you return to shalom is grounding. Grounding's kind of become a trendy topic lately, but not too many of us really understand it. What grounding does is it helps your brain and body remember that we're here, safe in the present, and not there in a painful part of our story in the past that was not safe for us. Grounding exercises help connect our mind and body and experience to the present physical and safe environment of the here and now. And there are several good and simple exercises for grounding. For example, take off your shoes and place your feet firmly on the ground. Take off your socks. There's nothing better than walking around in the grass or in the sand or even around nice carpet or hardwood floors with your bare feet. If it's a sunny day, go outside and sit in the sunshine for like 10 minutes. I love to do this, just allowing the light of the sun to warm my skin and infuse my body with vitamin D. I recently read an article in the Harvard Journal of Medicine that explained how staring at water for 30 minutes, preferably moving water like a waterfall or the waves of an ocean, has the same neurological effect as one antidepressant pill. So stare at water. Grounding exercises help calm your nervous system and return you to the safety of here and now. The fifth skill to help you return to shalom is what I call imagination relocation. Simply remembering people, places, or events that were stressful or traumatic can reintroduce the same difficult emotions you were feeling at that time, no matter how long ago it might have been. So one of the greatest ways to bring your brain and body out of that painful part of your story is through your imagination. And this is an incredibly helpful practice for me, using my imagination to relocate my thought and my presence to a place that brings me safety and peace. So here's what I do. I close my eyes and imagine a place where I've experienced a deep sense of rest and peace. I imagine that I'm there taking in the sights and the sounds and the smells, and I linger there as long as it is necessary. And some of the places where I imagine, those places where I feel the most safety and peace is like in the mountains or in the woods. And so I'm often imagining myself being at my favorite campsite in Wyoming or sitting by the fire at the edge of my favorite lake in the northern Minnesota woods. And dwelling in these places in my imagination invites my brain and body to come back to that state of shalom. This practice works by redirecting the brain's focus, which is really helpful for reducing cortisol and boosting serotonin. The sixth skill to help your body return to shalom is talking to your body. Okay, I know that sounds totally weird, and I get it, But hear me out for just a second. Talking kindly to your body can help it relax. This is a tremendously strategic practice you just don't want to do in front of other people. So I know it's a little weird, but bear with me. What I want to encourage you to do is first just notice a stress response. Maybe your heart is racing, or you feel tingling energy in your arms, or you discover you're just like hyper vigilant. Perhaps you're breathing fast and heavy, or your thoughts are racing and you've got sweaty palms. Whatever that might be, notice what's going on. And then place your hand on the place in your body where you feel that anxiety, that stress, that trauma manifesting. And then in a calm, gentle, kind, and affirming voice, focus on that spot and say something to your body like, "Thank you for responding. I know you're committed to help us get through this. I know you're doing everything you can to keep us safe, and I'm so glad you're here, and I appreciate you getting us ready for danger. But you know what? Right now, you can relax because I feel safe. And I want you to know that I'm going to keep you safe too. I'm going to take care of us. I want you to stay with me, but you can return to calm. You can return to shalom. We're not being threatened right now. We're not in danger. We're okay." Now, I'm confident you could come up with a much better way to talk to your own body, and I just want to encourage you to do so. It is a little bit weird, but it's amazing what happens when you actually do that. That technique helps create self-compassion. It helps build mind-body awareness. It really does release tension in our muscles and helps us come back to a place of wholeness, of completeness, of shalom. The seventh skill to help you return to shalom is to find a skilled massage therapist. That's right. I'm a big fan. Massage therapy has been shown to reduce muscle tension, improve circulation and reduce inflammation, and boost mood by increasing serotonin and dopamine. I've got a great massage therapist who specializes in deep tissue work, which can be pretty uncomfortable at times, but that short-term pain is totally worth the benefits. By practicing these 7 skills, you can help your brain and body work together to return to shalom, that state of peace, rest, and safety you were created to enjoy. You have the ability to train yourself to handle anxiety, stress, and trauma in a healthy way. And I really hope that you'll try out all 7 of these, or maybe just 1 or 2, and see how it helps you come back to that place of peace and well-being. Hey, leave a comment below and let me know which one of these practices is most helpful for you. And while you're waiting for my next video, check out these 2. And if this video was helpful to you, it would be so helpful to me if you'd let me know. Leave an encouraging comment below, give it a like, subscribe, and share the link with a friend. May the Lord bless you and protect you. May the Lord smile on you and be gracious to you. May the Lord show you his favor and give you his peace.